Mondays are supposed to be normal, ordinary. But this Monday was different. This Monday was the night I realized the knocking outside my door wasn't human. The air was unusually cold for early spring, each breath forming a thin mist beneath the dim glow of my hallway light. Shadows stretched long across the walls, twisting, moving, almost alive. I could hear the soft hum of the refrigerator, the steady ticking of the clock. Yet beneath it all, there was something else. Something that didn't belong. Tap, tap, tap. It was coming from the front door. A single knock. Soft. Deliberate. Too measured to be random. Too steady to ignore. My pulse quickened. I froze, staring at the door as if willing to speak. The silence outside felt heavier than air itself, pressing in on me from every corner of the room. My phone vibrated in my pocket. A small tether to normal life, but I didn't dare check it. Something told me whatever was out there was watching. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe if you enjoy real horror stories. Turn off the lights, put on your headphones. Settle in, because what you're about to hear is not just stories. It's 3 true Monday horror events that will ruin your week. Mondays have always been strange for me. There's a quiet weight to them, a creeping unease I never understood, until now. Each story I'm about to share happened on a Monday, a day that should have been ordinary, uneventful. But something about the start of the week seems to attract something else, something that watches, something that waits, something that knocks. You'll hear about the night I felt something following me. The Monday. My friend nearly lost his mind to a visitor at his window. And the Monday when I made a mistake I can never undo. The first story began with a knock that never stopped. And from that moment on, nothing would ever feel safe again. It started at exactly 1:13 a.m. on a cold Monday. A single knock. Too soft to be normal, too persistent to ignore. I had just finished locking the front door after a late-night grocery run. The kind of mundane task that usually leaves you tired but safe. Tonight, however, as soon as I stepped inside, I heard it again. Knock, knock. I froze mid-step. The apartment was too quiet. Usually the hum of the heater or the faint creak of the floorboards would reassure me, but tonight there was only the knock. My heart pounded, hammering in my chest as my mind raced for explanations. A neighbor? A prank? The wind rattling the old wooden frame? None of it made sense. Curiosity, or perhaps foolishness, pulled me toward the peephole. Slowly, I peered out, squinting into the darkness. Nothing. Not a shadow, not a hint of movement. I stepped back, trying to convince myself it was just a branch brushing the door. Then the knock echoed again. Deliberate, patient, almost impatient. Minutes passed, then 10. The knocking repeated every few minutes, like a metronome keeping pace with my rising dread. Every time I moved, the air grew colder, prickling my skin. Goosebumps rose like tiny spears. The stillness outside pressed against the glass like an invisible weight. My heartbeat thudded in my ears, so loud it seemed to synchronize with the knock. And then it started following me. From the door, to the window, to the ceiling. Behind me, soft, hollow knocks reverberating inside the walls where no one should have been. Pipes, rodents, wood settling. I tried rationalizing it, but logic crumbled beneath the fear that wrapped around me like ice. Then, silence. My chest heaved, cold sweat sliding down my back. And then I felt it. A whisper, dry and urgent, brushing against my ear. Open the door. I froze. Slowly, trembling, I turned. And through the dim hallway light, I saw it. A figure, blacker than the shadows themselves, formless yet solid. Watching, silent. I stumbled back, tripping over my own feet. My phone trembled in my hand as I dialed the police, my voice barely audible over the sound of my own rapid breathing. When they arrived, flashlights sweeping every corner, they found nothing. Nothing. One officer leaned close, voice low. "We've been getting calls about knocks like this every Monday for years. People hear them for hours, but when we get here, no one is ever there." The words chilled me. This wasn't random. This wasn't a coincidence. This knock was purposeful, watching, waiting. I spent the rest of the night on the couch, lights on, listening. Every creak, every draft, every whisper of wind outside sent chills down my spine. I don't know what was at my door that night, but I do know this. The knock isn't done, and it only comes on Mondays. If you heard knocking that followed you inside your home, would you open the door? Mondays used to feel normal, until I realized something was following me. If you think that single knock was terrifying, wait until you hear what happened next. This second story didn't happen to me. It happened to a friend of mine. But when he told me what he experienced, I realized Mondays aren't safe for just one person. Whatever haunts them moves. It watches. And for him, the terror started with a simple tap at his window. It was a Monday evening when my friend called me, his voice trembling, almost a whisper. "Someone's at my window, and they won't go away." I've known Mark for years, and I knew his apartment like the back of my hand. 4th floor, old brick building downtown. Tall, narrow windows, no balcony, no easy escape. The dim glow of the single living room lamp barely cut through the darkness outside. At first, I thought he was joking, but then I heard it through the phone, a soft, deliberate tapping. Tap, tap, tap. Mark's voice shook as he described it. A shadowy figure pressed against the glass. Impossibly tall, impossibly still. It didn't blink, it didn't move, it just watched. Every tap seemed to drain the warmth from the room. The lamp flickered like it was reacting to its presence. Mark tried calling the police, but the line cut out. Desperate, he texted me, "Please, come over, I don't know what to do." I didn't hesitate. Driving over, the streets felt wrong, empty, silent, even for a Monday night. The closer I got to his building, the heavier the feeling in my chest grew. My stomach churned. Something about this wasn't right. When I arrived, Mark was pale, shaking, waiting at the door. I glanced up at his window. The alley below was empty. The figure had vanished. We stepped inside cautiously. The dim lamp flickered, casting wavering shadows. Relief washed over me for a second. Maybe it had been nothing. Maybe Mark's fear was just an imagination. Then the tapping began again. This time, it was inside. The sound traveled across the ceiling, along the walls, moving toward us. Heavy, guttural breathing filled the room. My heart raced, and then the lights went out. Darkness swallowed the apartment. In the faint glow from the city outside, I saw it. The figure crawling along the ceiling, eyes glowing like red coals. Gravity didn't seem to apply to it. It moved faster than any human could. We ran, knocking over furniture, stumbling toward the door, slamming it shut behind us. Outside, the world looked normal, almost safe, but inside, something had changed. The apartment felt alive, watching. The police and firefighters arrived, searching every corner. Nothing. No footprints, no trace, just the memory of the figure. Mark eventually moved away, but he still tells me. On Mondays, he sometimes sees it. Reflections in windows, shadows in the corner of his eye. Always watching, always waiting. If something tapped your window from the 4th floor, what would you do? Would you hide, run, face it? After Mark's experience, I thought Mondays couldn't get any worse. But I was wrong. The creeping dread, the sense of being watched, never truly left me. And then it happened. The third story, the Monday when I opened the door, the one I still can't talk about without shaking. I swore I would never open the door for that knock. But this Monday, I made a mistake. The day had been quiet, almost peaceful, lulling me into a false sense of security. I tried convincing myself that the previous Monday's horrors were over, that they had chosen Mark, that they were just coincidences. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long orange shadows across the apartment, I heard it again. Knock, knock, knock. This time it was louder, desperate. Each strike echoed through the hallway like a drumbeat of warning. My heart raced, hammering against my ribs as I froze in the living room, staring at the door. I tried to rationalize it. A neighbor, a delivery, a prank. Deep down, I knew better. The knocking grew more insistent. Tap, rap, tap. My stomach twisted. Cold crept through the cracks of the doorframe, chilling me to the bone. I approached slowly, hands shaking, each step heavy and deliberate. Then it happened. The doorknob turned by itself, slowly, deliberately. I stumbled back. A scream caught in my throat. No one was visible, but I felt it, a wet, icy breath pressing against the other side, ragged and uneven, tasting the air of my apartment before it could enter. A whisper followed, my own voice, wrong, distorted, fractured, coming from the other side. Let me in, let me be you. I recoiled, my mind screaming at me to run, lock the door, call the police. But a morbid curiosity, a horrible compulsion, made me inch closer. I needed to see it. I had to know what waited beyond the wood and metal. And then it pushed the door open. It was me, but not me. A twisted, horrific version of myself stood there, skin pale, almost translucent, eyes faintly glowing, mouth twisted into a grotesque smile. When it spoke, it mimicked my own voice perfectly, but corrupted, dripping with malice. It's my turn now. I stumbled back, knocking over a chair. The creature lunged. I ran, weaving through narrow hallways, adrenaline fueling every step. It was faster than me, impossibly so, following every move with that same distorted grin. The lights flickered, and then went out completely. Darkness swallowed the apartment. Panic clawed at my throat. I could hear it crawling, laughing in my own voice, echoing through the rooms. My reflection haunted me in shards of broken mirror I passed. Each time it smiled wider. I barely made it to the kitchen. Grabbing a heavy pan, I swung blindly. The creature recoiled, screeching in a sound both mine and not mine. In the chaos, I slammed the front door shut and locked it. Gasps of air filled my lungs. Outside, silence returned, but inside, the apartment felt alive. Watching, waiting. I didn't sleep that night. Shadows twisted just beyond my vision. Faint, deliberate knocking echoed in the walls. I had trapped it temporarily, but it isn't gone. Every Monday it returns. Always a knock. Soft at first, then urgent. Sometimes I hear my own voice calling back, distorted, pleading, mocking. I don't answer anymore. I don't even peek through the peephole. I only wait for it to stop. And every Monday, it reminds me, if you hear someone knocking on a Monday, don't open it. It might be you. Would you open the door if you heard your own voice outside? After hearing all 3 stories tonight, I can't look at Mondays the same way ever again. From the first knock that followed me home, to the shadowy visitor tapping on my friend's window, and finally, to the night I made the mistake of opening the door. One thing is certain, Mondays are no longer ordinary. They are the quiet hours before something unthinkable finds you. I can still feel the icy chill of that first knock, the sinister presence at the 4th floor window, and the horrifying reflection of myself standing at the door. These aren't just stories, they are warnings. Every creak, every whisper, every knock could be something watching, something waiting, something that knows when it's Monday. Now I want to hear from you. Which story scared you the most? Was it the knock that followed me inside my home? The creeping figure at the window? Or the monstrous version of myself waiting at the door? Comment below and share your thoughts. But be careful, because fear has a way of finding those who speak of it. If you want more stories that will make your skin crawl, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. More terrifying tales are coming every week. Stories that will make you double-check your locks, your windows, even your own reflection. And remember, if you hear a knock tonight, don't open the door.